right, so then moving on,
Yes.
I wanted to just have a conversation on parent organizations, because there seems to be some confusion with the public about this.
Okay.
All right, so parent organizations, we have a policy,
Yeah, I agree.
and it's policy 9210. Okay, it says the Board of Education will encourage and support organizations of parents or legal guardians whose objectives are to promote the educational interests of district pupils. Representatives of recognized parent organizations shall be treated by district employees as interested friends of the schools and as supportive of public education in the school district. The board relies upon parent organizations to operate in a manner consistent with public expectations for the schools and reserves the right to withdraw recognition from any parent organization whose actions are inimical to the interests of the pupils of the district. So what I take from this is that parent organizations are a good thing to have.
Correct.
You know, that anyone that wants to help the students, the district in any way, it should be encouraged.
100%.
Okay. And then I referenced this with our policy and what classifies as class 1. So parent, right under our regulation, letter 1, it says Monroe Education Foundation, comma, school parent related organizations. So they are class 1 users.
Yes.
I confirmed with the board attorney, they do not have to show that they have tax exempt
Oh, I
status.
remember someone had asked that.
Yes, so
But they-
that's not a requirement. You said they.
No. I apologize. Let me correct.
Okay.
They don't, are required, however, it's my understanding that the ones that operate do have.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean that they,
It's not
no, you're absolutely right. No, he was very clear with us that we can't turn away a parent group just because we have to have another parent group. Parent groups can come, we just want them to be always about the children first. That was my understanding. That's what he said at the board meeting.
Right. So I just wanted to clarify that, and then I also put, the special interest groups.
Which is a little bit different, that's different
It's a
than
little
parent.
bit different,
Yeah.
it's not a parent group.
Correct.
And then, I don't want to read the whole.
Those contributions.
I just want to say again, this one is also a good thing to have, but this one I believe has to have approval, or donations have to be approved.
Right, and this is something, so let me give you an example, this is something I dealt with recently, so we had, was it a football game? I'm just trying to remember what it was, we had something that they wanted us to promote, and,
Yeah, so this one requires board review.
right, so Ms. Zelinski will come to me, before I promote anything, I want to make sure, number one, is it benefiting our children?
Right.
We don't want to promote a special interest group unless it benefits our children, how does it benefit our children? We always go to the lawyer, because we want to make sure that we don't
Right,
permit, that's very different than PTO, PTA, PSA, it's very different. So, I think this is when we have listed on the board administrators section for our board meetings for approval recommendation, where we'll list when we have, a special interest group that's promoting something, providing something, giving something, we'll acknowledge them. I know that you have that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your thing, right?
the board has the right to reject.
Correct.
Applications, but this does require board approval.
Correct.
So it does have to be.
Right, but I think I like the word, because that's not a PTO or PTA or anything they want to call themselves.
So that's the difference between
Right.
the two. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about parent?
So I just think what I've heard from the public is having two organizations can create confusion. Is there one, like, they don't seem to be partnering organizations.
They're not.
But also they're in the same building. So it's kind of like you're splitting funds, more or less.
Well, I can speak on this because, when the situation occurred and it's PSA, so it's Parent Staff Association was created, the board, waiting for us, the board really wants them to go away. And they had reached out, I believe, to the NJ, SBA rep, and she had said, well, and I read the emails, and she had said, well, it may not be a good idea. It is my understanding, and then I'm gonna speak on how we work positively, that according to our attorney, we can't make them go away.
No.
So they have to exist. So what I feel is important is, and I think that Dr. Higgins, and I'm not gonna speak for him, and I'm gonna speak about what I said to him. If the other organization, which has now come out of, they weren't active, they come out of inactivity to activity, please be mindful that we're all here for the kids. And if they want to separate and do different things, now in the past, when I was the principal there, they were more like helping hands. So they didn't raise money, but they came in and gave their time and they paid for things. And then they did raise money in certain areas, but it wasn't in competition, it was separated. All I said to him is you can't turn anybody away. You could have a third group that comes and take it all. Anybody wants, what do we say? You want to bring a paycheck, you want to bring a checkbook. But please be mindful that they are mutually respectful rather, and please be mindful that there is no competition. So if someone is doing one type of, one type of, fundraiser, they should be different. And that's all I said, and I think I'm staying out of it, as I should, and I think that we have our diligence as well to stay out of it, because we don't need, like you said, you read it perfectly, it is not a special interest group. We don't have the right to say go away, nor would we. We just want to make sure that it's positive, and that's the way it should be.
You're
Only
following
if
the
they start to,
But that's negative towards children, I know I read it.
and yeah, that's the only.
Which, and that would have to, so I basically told him, let everybody exist, and let everybody bring whatever they can for our children and our staff, and perhaps you could gear them in different directions. It's a very large school. I wish the high school had that problem. That's
They don't have any.
They have none, correct. I wish the high school had that problem. So perhaps maybe they'll grow up, they grow over, either for both groups. Because when you're that big of a group, maybe he'll turn around and say, I'll separate it by grade, or maybe he'll turn around and say, I'll separate it by food versus, you could do the food this time, you do the clothing this time, you do the clothing this time, you do the food this time. I really don't want any negativity that existed in the past to come from this, because anything that we can give to our kids, I agree with you when you said it, we should give to our kids. So and as you know, I don't go on social media, anymore, very long time now, and I think that unless something comes to us as a formal concern, the lawyer will tell us it is not our place. It's not our place, and it's not my place.
I mean, I put it on the agenda because there was.
Yeah, I think
discussions during public.
Yeah, and I think it's good that you did, because you gave specific clarification to the difference between a special interest group. These two groups at the middle school are both parent groups, they are not special interest groups. So I thank you for doing that.
So just for clarification, looking at my pen, it says representative of recognized parent organization. Recognized, does that mean?
We cannot not recognize them, the
Right.
lawyer said,
What I was saying, what's this recognition, like, it says recognized, so they're unrecognized
not
parents.
to my knowledge.
Is there any,
Is there a process?
They're not like, I think for them to be,
like, is
like,
it?
then that would not be, like, if it is not a recognized organization by the district.
So, yeah.
It shouldn't be fundraising.
Yes.
In the school.
Right.
Right?
But this
Is there a
organization,
process in place for, like, if someone says, I want to create a parent group?
They-
have to
I
go through a
believe,
process?
I believe that if it's not, I don't want to speak on the particulars, but I believe that there is a national, you're an elementary, right? So there's a national parent-teacher association.org.
It's a state one too.
There's a state, and then there's a PTO. To my knowledge, because I was the principal, this other organization that some people don't want, or whatever their problem is, I don't want to get involved, is appropriately recognized and has been appropriately.
That, so is that, like, what you said anyway.
Example, I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? A group of parents come along and decided that they want to go ahead and raise money, for,
Like, you tell me,
thank you,
that's our
the
story.
Italian Club. They can do that, but they're not one of our groups.
So you can't have, so it has to be a recognized.
Well, they would have to go and work probably through Dr. Higgins and Mr. Colella, because he's specifically in charge of that, to say, what is your recognition? So the Booster Club is our recognized organization, but there are parent groups of the Touchdown Club, there are parent groups of soccer, so.
But they're not.
So I guess the question is, how do they get recognition?
I think it's through and that's like a.
And a national, I would think a
a
national
state
state
or
organization.
a national organization, so like the New Jersey
Right.
PTA.
Right.
recognized-
Or, and I think they become a, 401c3, I got the letter right? Thank you. 501? I always think wrong numbers. That's an important, although, I guess I'm wrong, I think the lawyer said,
That's what he said.
yeah.
That's why
Well,
I'm
that's
curious what recognition means, because I don't think it should necessarily fall upon, like, if we have this policy, it shouldn't necessarily fall on the discretion of each administrator at different levels. We want consistency, I think.
But at the same time, I think we need to be very careful about overstepping, because the attorney was very clear. If
Well,
a
this-
parent organization comes forward,
Last time this has been looked at is 2003.
Yeah, I think it's worth asking him.
Maybe to rewrite it.
Right, that's all I'm saying, define what recognition.
but I feel that if there's a parent group, because I do know that there were some people that didn't want this group to exist. I'm not in the building, it doesn't, The only thing that's positive is that when they give back to our kids. But the bottom line is, I think we need to be very careful about I know that's not English,
Yes.
unrecognizing a group that has been recognized in the
No,
past.